Hi, Bill Patterson, Art of Illusion again. Continuing on our palette knife painting. This is our third study. Our first one we did a light blue sky, did some white clouds with a knife, and just a burnt sienna blue gave us some misty background. So what I'll do is build in some more values, and so same three colors, kind of darken down our blue and burnt sienna. And I'll start showing maybe a few more distant trees up front, start showing a little bit maybe more texture. So if I wanted to come in here and think of another line into a plane, we talk about just like in a typical painting, another plane of trees, foliage, and I'll just start building up maybe taller tree here on the edge. Actually, what I might do is it kind of look like there might have been maybe at the lake back here, and this could be waterfall coming down here. That might be kind of neat to explore. If it is, then I may just come over here and decide if I wanted to put a waterfall in. This is all land. So the same thing when you're studying different techniques and different tools, different mediums. Is so many times it's hard when you're learning all those to forget about the basics of illusion in every painting, composition, layout, design. So it never ends. So I'm dropped down below the halfway mark. So I may think over here again just a little waterfall. I know it doesn't look like a waterfall right now, but so I've had a few brick masons in my classes down through the years, hod carriers. So when you're thinking of mortar, you're putting in structure and then putting bricks on top of it. This is what this is right now. It's just kind of like mortar. Putting in some of the basics, some dark, thick. And we'll come over and build again a little bit farther, coming to the right. And I may decide I'm going to bring some taller trees in, so maybe not worry too much right now after all. Let the painting kind of decide where we go. I'm going to start bouncing it again. So because of the light that I used for last episode, it could be some water back here if I wanted to keep this as illusion of that one. So if we have a waterfall, it could come right down over here. I was a kid with my students who've, well, all women of you who've baked a lot, especially cakes and icing, put icing on cakes. We kind of understand that same type of thing. We're just building up. I like heavy, thick icing, so maybe that's why I like oil painting the same way. So if this is our water, we kind of think of a small waterfall. Even here, kind of pulling down some reflections. But if I do that, and we're going to make that as a waterfall, then what I need to do is come back in and get maybe a light, like we had with our sky, just kind of a light reflection. Now again, this is not preconceived where I was going, so every painting I do, we kind of see it comes to us. But if it is water, then we'll have some of that reflection. Let's scrape it down again. So I'm going to start dragging some of this down just in case. We're going to keep it reflections. And we'll build a little more layers on the right, and we'll come in and start doing our water, suggesting where water is. I'm going to bring this one down a little bit darker in front here. So we hadn't talked a lot about our value chart, which we've done some series on, but as you can tell inside here, as you looked, kind of have an idea what values we're talking about. None of them are 9 right now. We're probably in 8s, our darkest dark, 7s or 8s, which means that we have a lot more room to put in some darks. If I decide where I'm going to put my waterfall here, I'll do that before we put any stones or anything around it. Another nice thing with a knife, you're able to come right in and actually work over a place area. If you don't like something, you actually scrape it right down instead of leaving the whole painting, which is what I like about the round blade. I'm able to come in and get tight little corners with it if I need. I don't have to switch over to a smaller blade. And if you've seen one of our episodes, we've talked about different knives, and there's many others besides what we talked about on there. And if you have one that works for you, I always say if that floats your boat, melts your butter, go for it. And I'll just maybe take the back of the knife and suggest a few trunks while I'm blocking some of this in. Okay, we can see at least with the layers how this pushes all that nice misty haze up, some of her top trees. That's a pretty good series on there. What we'll do is come in next time, put our waterfall in, and we will, since we're only using 3 colors, that's why I push a lot of the blue gray so we can use our sienna as a warm color on top of this. And I am probably going to bring some tall trees in, maybe another little bank up here. So I'll continue working on that. We'll come back and finish this out on next time. Thanks.